Testing 1, 2. This is the all-new Culture Cast coming at you in Radio Land.
And this was a Kiwi eating ice cream.
Okay.
You are listening to Chicagoland's finest podcast. The all-new Culture Cast begins now.
I'm Nick.
I'm the Kiwi.
And we're back with another edition of the all-new Culture Cast. The Kiwi and I are eating ice cream because it's actually been nice out the past couple of, the past week or so?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Here in the Chicagoland area. So, she demanded we get ice cream.
Yeah.
That's the way I remember it. Okay, so today, coming at you with a special topic of sorts. Kiwi and I attended it goes by different names. I think Fan Fest is like the generic name, but in the Chicago area here this past weekend, there was the Combo Convention, Walker, Stalker, and Heroes and Villains, which is a pop culture convention that's held at the Rosemont Convention, which is a very nice convention. I like that convention a lot. My old stopping grounds.
Easy.
Yeah, and the parking situation is decent if you know the trick. And so we decided to go to this convention and check it out, which normally we haven't really been interested in too much. But we'll talk more about that. I guess before we jump into it, let's go to one of our regular topics. What have you been watching?
What have you been watching?
I guess in this case, what have we been watching? We kind of watch shows together. But Kiwi, you were telling me about a show that you just started watching on Netflix.
Because I love the O.J. Simpson story so much, the American crime story, I decided to watch the American crime story of the assassination of Gianni Versace. And I think I'm over.
Now, I think you started watching this based on a comment a friend of mine made to me who said that he thought the Versace one was better than the O.J. one. You love the O.J. one.
I did love the.
I made that comment to you, and I think you're like, well, I better start watching it, see what the hubbub is about. And what do you think of it so far? You're midway through.
I knew nothing of the Versace murder, so when I watched the OJ, I had an idea of what happened. I was in 5th grade when O.J. Simpson. Let's just be honest, he's the killer.
Allegedly. I want his lawyers come.
Okay, fine. O.J. Simpson allegedly his wife, her friend, but I knew nothing of the Versace, so it's interesting getting the killer's backstory and hearing how it came to be and the scandal, and it's told like O.J. Simpson's story was told in chronological order. The Versace story is like backwards, so they did it different. But I think it's brilliantly casted. I did look up Andrew Cunanan to see what he actually looked like in real life, and they did a great job making the actor look like the actual person.
I look forward to it. I'm probably not going to watch it. Like, I probably won't watch the OJ one.
See, you should watch both of them, and then we'll do a podcast on it, and I'll be like, if I have to rewatch the O.J. Simpson one again, I will.
I mean, they sound interesting. They're just other things I want to watch. The good and the bad with all these streamings. You're overwhelmingly watching too much, and you end up just watching Friends or The Office.
Well, I try to be better being on the train. I either try to read or watch Netflix, and I've been so tired in my seat that I've had a hard time focusing to read enough on the train. I will say sometimes guilty of rewatching already watched before. So I'm like, this here in the Versace, like, oh, okay, I know someone. Yeah, shout out to
friend of the show, Will Wall,
who probably doesn't.
So we can talk bad about him. I don't think I've really been watching anything. I've been kind of like down in the dumps the past week. I've been sick. I had a little stomach bug and it hasn't been too great. And honestly, I just have not had a chance to really keep up with some of the shows I like to watch in general.
I know, we're behind.
I know. Although, I'm not going to lie, I want to finish out the season, but my enthusiasm for the show has really took a hit. I don't know why. There's that. I have watched a couple of movies lately that I believe the Gorhan and I are going to podcast on eventually down the line, so I'll save it for that. But that's since Gorhan is not here tonight, we don't really have a man crush. But Kiwi, do you have a man crush to fill, or a girl crush? Sometimes you like filling that role.
Man crush.
Sure. I'll do, maybe it's too popular of a person, but we'll say Chris.
Haven't heard of him. Has he done anything big?
Not really.
I heard he was in some Star Trek. Is that the one with Darth Vader?
Yeah.
And Ed McMahon's on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's move on to our topic. Kiwi and I went to the Hero Villain Fan Fest / Walker Stalker Con this past weekend at Rosemont. I remember seeing the ads for this, I think, starting when we first dated, when you were really into The Walking Dead at the time. And I thought, oh, that'd be fun to go to, because I knew you liked The Walking Dead, and I never got into the show. But we never ended up going for years and years for whatever reason. I think over time it just lost its appeal. But you were interested in wanting to go this year for a specific reason. Can you tell us that story?
Well, the convention that Nick and I always go to is C2E2. And I came across some really cool fan art of a guy who drew Penguin. It's a black and white image, and the umbrella he's holding is shaped like Batman.
I think it was looked like blood, red blood was coming from them.
Oh, yeah. And so...
Just to be clear, the picture of Penguin was of Robin Lord Taylor from the TV series Gotham, which we've been watching, and I'm sad it's ending, but we'll say that for
that's another podcast. So I bought the picture, and then, Robin Lord Taylor usually goes to the Hero Villain Con, and that was the main reason why I wanted to go this year. Also, maybe just to see, what all the hype is about. And we had ridiculously cheap tickets. Well, cheap for maybe this convention.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the normal pricing is, but it was right around the holidays. They were doing
12 days of Christmas.
Yeah, they were doing these really stupid discounts, stupid cheap discounts. I remember you saying to me, Nick, Gotham's ending. Who knows if he's ever going to come back? Let's do it this year if we can get a good deal. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was really on the fence. I mean, I knew you wanted to get either him to sign that, Robin Lord Taylor to sign it, or get a picture with him, because he is great on Gotham. And Penguin's probably my favorite Batman villain, and so I really like what he did to the role. But and so we ended up, I think you ended up buying the tickets.
Well, with your blessing.
Yeah. I mean, you did. Usually, I'm the one who kind of takes care of that stuff, but you kind of.
Well, I want to say it was advertised through Facebook. So I just went from there. I'm glad I would not have paid more for what we paid, which I can't. Did we pay $30 a ticket or something for a 2-day pass?
I think it was $33, because I think the total came to 75.
Well, there's the processing fee.
Oh yeah, I was included.
So I don't know, between 30 something like that.
Now let's put a pin in that and go back a second. In past years, they do announce the guests at a variety of times, and of course, there's always a huge Walking Dead guest list. But it also feeds into the superhero shows that are featured on the CW: Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, and also Gotham, which is not a CW show, but it's in that same wheelhouse. And they usually have a number of people from Gotham. In the several past years, Robin Lord Taylor has popped up there. And at the time we bought the tickets, very few guests were announced. And so Robin Lord Taylor wasn't announced yet. But we were fairly confident that, he's come every year. Why would he not come this year? So, Kiwi, what happened?
He didn't.
And up until the week of the show, no one from Gotham was showing up, which we were really surprised.
The guy who plays Harvey Bullock,
Donald Donald
L. He ended up showing up a week before, because I think
the week of. He popped up.
And he was just signed too, because he had a panel which.
It was more of a 15-minute Q&A.
It was a 15-minute Q&A. He was on a very small stage. We did get good seats. And he said...
a good standing area.
A good standing area, because there was no seats. But we were close enough to the stage. And didn't he just say this was just the second one that he did? And he did his first convention the week before?
Yeah, and the reason he said he hasn't done any conventions is that usually he hasn't had time to, given his role on Gotham. They're usually filming when these things go on, so he hasn't had the opportunity to take part in them. But he says he's hoping to do more now the show is wrapped up. So Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to go on to the
Harvey?
No, so one of the other things that Kiwi and we did not realize until I believe it was your mom mentioned it, that this show happened to be Easter weekend. We did not realize it was Easter weekend when we bought the tickets.
No, I think we were the ones who realized it. But
Well, it wasn't okay. Well, it wasn't until like really late in the game before we realized that it was. I thought your mom was involved. Like she said, "Oh, on Easter in 2 weeks." And no, I'm making up stories apparently.
Because when we were talking about Easter, I looked at the tickets and then realized I looked at Easter and it was the same. And so I want to say it was like in February or March.
Yeah, I think it was at least early March because we didn't. Yeah, which explains why they had such stupid deals going. It might explain why some of the guest list was a little lacking in terms of no one from Gotham. And the characters from, at least the Flash and Arrow who were there, not to criticize the actors, but they're like the secondary characters. I remember in the past, like, I think the guy who plays Arrow, Stephen Amell, had been there. I don't think the guy who played Flash had ever showed up, but it is what it is. But we had the tickets, and we thought, all right, let's go. We got them for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, which we could have bought the 3-day one too,
and
it was the same price as the 2-day one.
And I'm glad you didn't. Cost aside, what was your opinion of this show?
I would have been upset if I had taken Friday off to go to this
Why is that?
Because even though we had the 2-day pass, we only...
And it wasn't because I was feeling under the weather.
No, that didn't help matters, but we had already decided that day that we weren't going to go back.
It was not a good convention for what I guess we kind of look for. This is the type of show where...
I was gonna say it's a very specific convention, and if you are a Walking Dead fan or a CW fan, this is the convention. And I used to watch The Walking, and I quit watching I think after season 7 because I just felt like every season was the same. It didn't interest me. But all the all the vendors were geared towards 80% of the vendors there were geared towards like Walking Dead fans. Well, most of it. There's a lot of half.
I don't know. I felt like all the vendors just had junk.
Well,
I mean, I think they had a lot of genre stuff. There might be a few extra Walking Dead things in there and a few extra CW superhero shows, but the stuff at the vendors I didn't think was any different by and large what you would find on average at C2.
And they didn't have, like, when you go to C2E2, they definitely have a section that is Artist Alley, and then they have a section where this is where you go around, purchase, your trinkets and items and everything. Whereas this convention, it was kind of like all mixed together. Mm-hmm. And
everyone had a booth.
Everyone had a booth. And I kind of compare it to, like, C2E2 when you want to go down Artist Alley. You can't go down there when it's extremely busy, and you can't go down there when it's dead. Because I feel like everyone just wants to talk to you, and they want you to buy their stuff. And, I've nicknamed it, like, Starving Artist Alley. And I kind of felt like...
I can't take credit for that. I don't think I came...
No. But when you're walking, like, the booths at this convention, this convention wasn't as busy as C2E2.
That part was nice.
It was nice. You could navigate, but then that also left, when you're walking, like, you can't stop and enjoy something at a booth without feeling like if you stay too long, like...
You'll be guilted into buying something?
Yeah. Which we didn't buy anything.
No, I bought a book.
Oh, that's right. But it was a comic book vendor who had...
Yeah, it was like the one comic book vendor there, which, granted, this is not a comic book show, so if you go to a show like this and say, where are the comic books? Well, you're missing the point of... But they had one, so of course I'm going to take a look, and I saw a book that, part of a collection that I'm slowly over time trying to get, that they had it for, like, ridiculously marked down. Like, normally it's like $40 book marked to $16. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to get that. They had another one there that I almost bought, but I feel like I could have gotten it.
I mean, that was, I guess, worth going if you found...
Yeah, sure.
I guess. Well, we
buy a $30 ticket to buy a $16 book. Math.
Well, but... I mean, there wasn't anything that I wanted to buy, whereas, like, when I go to C2E2, there's there's definitely one vendor at least for everyone. Like there's at C2E2 they had a lady that was selling dresses and purses. I wish I would have liked the pattern more. But she had like a Golden Girls dress, like a Golden Girls purse.
Oh.
And, you know, I love supporting, you know, the local independent, you know, people. But I couldn't drop all that money on something that I just wasn't satisfied with. Whereas, like, there was no purse vendors or dress vendors at this one. Not that I noticed.
No, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, my mind is kind of blanking on a lot of the booths. I mean, he had some art prints, of course.
There was that cat vendor one who put the... I think it was the artist, he was like, drew famous characters as like cats.
That's right, I remember that one. And they had like actual art prints that they painted, and they had actual like paper prints if you didn't want to get the art print.
Yeah, and they had like coasters, which...
I mean, that was cute stuff.
It was cute. See, the prints were still expensive, though.
How much were the prints? I don't remember.
Well, if you wanted the canvas print, it was...
Oh, the canvas, that was pricey.
But how much the paper print? The canvas was anywhere from like $50 to like $100, I like that. I'm
not going to argue about that because I'm no artist by any stretch of the means.
And I'm not saying it's not worth it, but, you know, it's...
You have to really like it.
You have to really like it to spend that.
I mean, we've bought some artwork from the same guy a couple years ago at C2E2, Rob Hogan, who happened to have a booth at this thing, although we didn't see him there, which was those little character painted canvas for us. But, I mean, so, like, when you're getting something kind of personalized like that, that's fine in my... But, I mean, like, something like that, the cat as the different characters, that's, like, cute. It's kind of like, oh, this is neat, and then you really don't go back to get it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like you can't like stare too long at the artwork because then, as we said, you almost get like guilted into buying it. It's, you know, you just sometimes just want to appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, side story, I won't forget though, when we went to see, I was looking at some, and apparently I stared a little too long. And then the lady was like, well, which ones do you like? And I was like, well, you know, like, this one's nice and this one's nice. And she wrote them down on the business card and she handed them. And, like, I felt bad. Like, while I appreciated looking at them, I had artwork.
I would hope that they realize that. I remember the one year, I started flipping through this book again. I need to reread it. There was, he's a local, I think he's from Evanston. He wrote a book called Serenity Rose.
Oh, yeah.
And we saw him. I can't think of his name. Slightly unusual, or I don't know. I'm going to try to say it. I know the book is somewhere within walking. Serenity Rose, and you were really taken in by the artwork because it's kind of gothic-y and Tim Burton is it?
Yeah, that'd be a good comparison. Yeah.
And you were like, oh, we should get there. Let's think on it. And we walked away. I guarantee, looking the guy's face is like, they're not going to be back. But joke's on him, we did come back, and joke's on us. He sold out of his book because...
he did, and he mailed it to us. So
he mailed it to us.
He didn't charge us anything for shipping the thing.
I don't think. So there's that, and I think we spent $30 on that book, and now when he comes to C2E2 each year, he was selling it this year for $40. Price went up.
I thought we bought...
One was $30. Well, it's not important. Important thing is we got it. But he looked at, I could have sworn, like, his face was like, yeah, they're not coming back, which I'm sure a lot of these things.
Well, yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, too, is, you know, people come, like, with a budget, or at least, you know, we, you know, try not to spend over a certain amount of money, and a lot of, you know, the independent arts, you know, people try to make a living off of it, you know, they're selling. I am not paper creative like they are. You know, if I can embroider and cross stitch and do a little crochet, you know, but I can't picture or anything, which is what most of, you know, Artist Alley is, you know, people drawing and, you know, they charge, like, it's hard to find anything like $20 in Artist Alley.
Yeah, depending on what you're looking for. Like, you find an art print, they usually sell them between $10 and $15 each by us.
Yeah, but I even feel like those, like, the average price is still, like, $20. Or they'll have, like, a buy more, save more, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it depends. But regardless, this is not the C2E2 artist.
No, I guess just talking, like, in general, though, about being able to afford the stuff. Right. And so it's like you're walking around looking at all these vendors, and they're all like, purchase my stuff. But you're like, I don't know.
And I don't like your stuff. Can we talk about one of the vendors that kind of creeped me out? With the baby doll, which I think it still looked realistic enough, but it was like one of those uncanny valleys, like something's wrong with that baby, but I can't figure out what it is. It was creepy, okay?
All right. It was a doll and like an umbrella stroller.
And at quick glance, I'm like, is that a
At
real
a
baby
quick
thing?
glance, it looked like a real baby, but then like you look at it and you're like, no,
Well, something seemed off, and like that's why I kept staring. I'm like, this is screwing with my head right now. I am freaking out.
Nick also thought the baby was like left unattended, which I think what freaked him out even.
Well, I'm sure that definitely added to it. I don't know if it was, no. I don't think it was left unattended because my mind assumed that if that was a real kid, it was like the vendor's kid, and he was just there sleeping. That's bold. That's brave. But yeah, it freaked me out. But then I thought, man, we have so many people who drive like maniacs on our home street. I'd love to get one of those realistic life ones and just leave it out in the middle of the street to freak those crazy drivers.
They'd probably, and our neighborhood is filled with.
Right.
I don't want to like completely just shit all over this convention. I will say there was one thing that was kind of cool. I would compare it to a zoo of celebrity.
That's fair.
Where when you go to C2E2, when they have their autograph section, they're a good, 50 feet back, maybe more.
Depending on where it is and who it is and everything.
So, like, in other words, you couldn't walk by, like, C2E2 and get, like, a good shot of, like, the celebrity. Yeah. Whereas here, they were, like, 10 feet away from it. So you had a clear shot of every single celebrity.
Yeah, you can get a good look at them, like, if you wanted.
And the way they had it set up was almost like they were in a cage,
Yeah.
Like you'd literally walk by, you're like, oh, hey, look, there's Jenna Elfman,
Who's really tall.
Well, we didn't see her step up behind the booth.
Yeah, she did step out. Maybe you didn't see it, but she did. That's when I thought she was tall, because she had stepped around the booth to take a picture with someone.
And she wasn't in heels?
If they were, it wasn't anything. Like, she seemed really tall. I'm like, I didn't realize. And there were some interesting celebs there. Of course, our good friend Brandon Routh was there. But no, Jenna Elfman, who I know from Dharma and Greg, and I guess she's on Fear the Walking Dead now. And Dylan McDermott from TV's The Practice.
Yeah, and
American
his line
Horror
wasn't
Story.
that long, which kind of surprised me. And I just want to note too, like when we were buying the tickets, they had like different tiers. They had like your standard, and I think they had like a gold and like a platinum IP.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I could really see is that if you were standing in line for a celebrity, there might be a shorter line for like the VIP. But honestly, I don't really know other benefit that it got you. And they were pretty expensive tickets.
And none of the lines seemed crazy long in my opinion.
No, like...
I mean, there were some long ones, but it's not like the George Perez line that I stood in at C2.
Yeah, how was that, 4 or 5 hours?
I don't want to discuss it. I know I brought it up, but I don't want to discuss it. It was worth it, damn it.
Yeah, and I got the...
Which I so wish you could have gotten the picture. That
I
would have been
didn't
hilarious.
really want me to get my picture taken with
Well,
him.
I didn't think they were going to ask about that. I just thought it would be really funny. Anyway, no, the lines weren't all that long for the various celebrities. I think the biggest line I saw was for...
Was it The Punisher? His line was pretty long.
His was pretty good. Was his name...
Sean?
No.
Oh, that's his Walking Dead, isn't it?
Was it Shane?
Shane. Yeah, Shane.
John Berthenol, Berthenhell, the
Ooh.
Netflix's Punisher. What?
Yeah,
I feel like I'm close, but his was pretty big.
Oh, wasn't there one of the Walking Dead guys too that seemed
Maybe I don't
like the king guy, like Ezekiel? Was his line growing?
I don't know what any of that means. The guy on The Flash who's played different characters, Tom Cannavale.
Oh yeah.
His line was pretty decent, as was Daniel Panabaker's, who plays Killer Frost, which we saw a cute little girl with her dad, and she was dressed up as Killer Frost when we first got there.
Yeah, she was really cute.
And she pulled it off very good, and she was was
she like maybe 12, 13 around in there?
Yeah, easily. She seemed very excited about possibly meeting this character that she likes.
Which we did see her in line for.
Yeah. And it was funny, we had gotten there right around the same time they did, and she had used the bathroom. When she left, she was freaking out because one of her blue press-on nails fell off. And she's like, no, it's not right. And the dad was like, it's okay. It was cute. With our baby girls, if they ever dress up for Halloween or stuff like this, who knows, but I'm sure they'll be the same. But yeah, some of the things we should mention, they do have panels, but they don't have, it's not like C2E2 where it's just crazy all over the place. They have like a main stage on like the one far side of the convention center
Where there was a seating for that
where
one.
there was seating area, and then they had like a smaller stage for like Q&A where we saw Donald Logue. I'm gonna call him Donald Harvey.
I was gonna say just Harvey.
Harvey.
Yeah.
And which was kind of on the opposite side of the
And much smaller.
Yeah,
Where like the panels, although earlier in the day we did see there was at least a couple guys from like The Walking Dead that was on the stage, which that one drew a pretty big crowd.
Yeah.
You know, which I was like, why wouldn't you have the cast of The Walking Dead on the bigger stage?
But I think the smaller stage was just strictly for Q&A, just quick in and out. Like, if this is a good show, if you are big into autographs and want to be like a celebrity hound
Nick
or something
Carter
like
wasn't there this year.
He wasn't. He was there like previous years, which is
A couple times, I think.
Was he?
Yeah.
I remember he was there 1 year at least.
For some reason, I was thinking he was there 2 years in a row, because I was like, he back?
What's he doing there?
Well, you know, now he's probably...
No, but why was he even at the show to begin with?
Yeah, that's a...
It was like when Frank Thomas appeared at Wizard World.
I would have got his autograph had I taken.
I think his autograph was like, it was like, well, what are you doing, Frank? Get out of here, you. Frank Thomas, being a former White Sox, was a big hurt.
Apparently.
Yeah, he was injured a lot. He's a big crybaby about it.
No, there's...
But,
I would only pay to go back to this show if I knew Robin Liller was...
just so you can get that thing, or get your thing signed, maybe get a picture.
Yeah. And also if, although if they're Riddler, but he's not on my...
I think it's what, Corey Michael?
Something. I really liked those two. They make a good
team.
Good team on Gotham.
They look good in the preview for the final episode.
I know we had to make sure we caught up on Gotham if we had any.
In case he dropped any spoilers, which I don't think he really did.
He didn't. I will say, listening to Harvey talk, when he talked about Barbara's character, about how in the beginning they didn't know what to do with her, and that
and it was clear.
It was clear too, and like each season you saw like her character, you know, become more of like a badass
and go like off the rails.
And yeah, I mean, because we were talking like she is not the same person she was in like the first season. He said they almost cut her out because
until the actress went in and said, "Listen, what are we going to do with my character? Because this is not working." So she fought for her character, and the writers were like, "Okay, let's do something." And
then she directed at least one episode.
Yeah,
so that was cool. I liked listening to him. I mean, it was only like 20 minutes maybe at most. But you know, he seemed like thrilled to be there, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll go to more conventions." You know, especially he's like, because he's out of a job right now.
I'm unemployed. It was I mean, it was cool seeing him, but I don't know. This show, we saw everything. We got there, 10:30-ish or so, shortly after the show began. Let's say we finally got on the floor by like 11. We were ready to go by like, and part of that we just kind of sat around.
Yeah, because Harvey wasn't on the stage till 2 o'clock, which I think it was like 2:05 by the time he actually took the stage. Mm-hmm. So I want to say we left like around.
Yeah.
And we had walked past every single, which, you know, I question when we had bought our tickets, it came to us in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the badges, so no problem, but you could buy one-day passes. Now, technically, it was 2 conventions in one. They had the Hero Villain and the Walker Stalker. And they had a different color for each day for each convention. So, like, I don't remember the colors, but they're like, if you're on Saturday, if you're a Walker Stalker, you're going to be blue, and if you're Hero Villain, you're going to be purple. And I was like, are there actually 2 separate conventions?
They made it seem
like it was, like it was separate.
And
but
there's a picture online. It must not be from Rosemont. It must be a different convention. Where it looked like they had 2 separate entrances with like, this one's Walker Stalker, this is Hero Villain. Mm-hmm. Like literally like 2 different entryways. No, they didn't have anything like that. You go, both of them go in the same hall and you come out the same. So weird.
That was.
I mean, I have no desire to go back to this one ever again. I mean, with the exception if Penguin comes, so you can get, you know, that stuff. But if you're a Walking Dead fan and you like love these guys, then knock yourself out.
I mean, I felt like the prices were more expensive than seats as well, because like Harvey's a selfie with Harvey was $40, whereas like a selfie with Martin Starr was 30, and I mean maybe Harvey is a bigger star than Martin Starr.
I know he has a similar.
He's done a lot of things.
Yeah, he has a longer career, but similar trajectory.
Yeah, and it's just like if he would have been like $30, I would have had my picture taken with him. But like 40 was like on the edge. I'm like, ugh. But we did, get close to the stage, so I was able to snap some good pictures of him. Kind of like.
Yeah,
And also, we couldn't find prices for the professional photos.
Well, okay. Here's the thing: where they had the photo area, they did have the prices listed, but this was like talk about your 50-yard or 50-foot pathway. You had to go in the line where you had to buy the pictures, like if you didn't have your photo op already.
Yeah.
And all the prices, I think, were all the way down at the counter. Because let's talk about the website. The website was kind of not good. I don't think they ever posted any of the photo op pre-purchasing, because you'd go on to that link and say photo ops available for purchase January 2019, and nothing was there. I don't know if I had missed it when it was there or not, but you couldn't see how much they were charging for photos. I don't know. It was a weird website. You couldn't see. There wasn't anything posted successfully in the convention. Speaking of this, I don't know if this is a Rosemont thing or just a weird coincidence that the organization that put on this hero villain thing, but we got there on Saturday at, let's say, 11 o'clock, and they had no more programs, or shall I say, one sheet of paper, which wasn't all that informative about the show. Like, they were out. I'm like, how do you run out?
Yeah, you got the last one. They're like, well, they told you just to download the app on your phone. And
I don't have a smartphone, so I can't do it. I mean, you would think, why don't you have enough of these? I mean, are you like just trying to force people to use the app? I mean, I get that, but still, you shouldn't have run out that soon. And not that you need a full-blown program. It is a step above the last time I went to Wizard World in 2012, where they didn't have programs. Instead, they had Xerox copies of paper. And this is like a major nationwide company that does these conventions.
Is Wizard World at Rosemont too?
It is. And this was like, they didn't have them ready to go at the start of the show. Like, that is super unprofessional. But I digress. I do. Maybe it's gotten better, but probably has. Yeah, so...
How many people do you think we convinced to go do Hero Villain?
Oh, I'm sure all of our listeners will go.
You say listen?
Listener, yeah. I don't know. I give the show a big thumbs down. I don't know if we're spoiled by C2E2 or we just are looking for different... Like, I know Gorehound likes going to C2E2 to find cheap comics. I like going... Well, I know, I'm getting more cynical about the whole year after year.
Oh, so is Gorehound.
Yeah, which surprised me. We'll see what happens with that. But I like going for different things. I know you've been really in... This show just didn't cut it for me.
Are we talking about Hero Villain Con?
Hero Villain Con, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Not worth the price of entrance.
Like, comparing it to C2E2, but at least with C2E2, you could go and, find a panel that you could always go to. And there was nothing of... All
the panels when we were there were all Walking Dead stuff, which is fine. It's a Walking Dead show. I guess on Friday they had a Flash panel, and I think on Sunday they were having an Arrow one. But
I mean, it's a very specific convention. You have to be a fan of The Walking Dead or a fan of the CW shows, which, even if you're a fan of CW shows, I don't know.
The emphasis is totally on Walking Dead.
It really is. I mean, even the vendors were more geared towards Walking Dead.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of Walking Dead stuff, but I thought there was still a fair share of CWs. Maybe more Flash and Arrow than anything. I don't know.
And we only saw a couple of the same vendors at C2E2 as this one.
That's true. Saw that Gomez guy who does like the sports drawings with the different characters.
Oh yeah, he was at C2E2 this year.
Yeah.
He hadn't been there other years though.
No, he had been there other years. Because I actually had talked to him. He goes to the DuPage show.
Yeah.
And the one year I bought you the Wolverine Packers one. And then the following year I bought one for your brother.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him, the Gomez guy. I said, oh, yeah, I was glad to see you this year. He's like, oh, yeah, do you go to other shows? And he said, yeah, I was at C2E2. I'm like, you were? He's like, yeah, I go every year. And I remember seeing him the following year at C2E2.
Okay.
I saw him this past year.
I remember seeing this past year.
Maybe, I don't think you might have been with me, but I do remember seeing him in past years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's from the area, so he's going to be here, go to different shows in the area. So, but yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot. Oh, I also saw that Lydia Jean artwork, who I picked up some cute. She likes a lot of weird Halloween-y stuff, which I bought some stuff from her when I was at the DuPage thing. But so I guess you're going to get a lot of them. But I don't know. This is not worth the price of admission. Like if we paid actual price, I would have been disappointed.
You know, and actually, I remember. I feel like it was in the summer, but maybe it was early fall when they were announcing tickets for the Hero Villain Con. It was like buy one get 3 free.
Oh yeah.
But like one ticket was still like $100.
I don't remember that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I remember like, cause if I did the math. I was like, okay, it's not that bad. You know, price per ticket, but I'm like to find someone, you know,
3 other saps to go along with you.
Yeah.
I wonder the gold and VIP packages, what they actually do.
Well, oh yeah, and they got you in like an hour early or something, which
oh boy,
trust me, you would not need to get in there an hour early. But there was a lot of people that when we first got there, you and I had used the bathroom, and I got up before you, and I heard these people talking, and they were like, oh yeah, it's a great convention, and you know, like, they said, like, Norman Reedus was usually there, who is on The Walking Dead.
Daryl,
yeah. He wasn't there this year.
I bet you they didn't get a lot of the bigger names, because the guy who plays Negan had been there. Having an Easter weekend was not well thought out. I know it's not the biggest holiday out there, but still.
You know, it's sad, too, because, like, we didn't have to hop on the train.
No, yeah, I mean, it is. I've always liked the Rosemont Convention Center. I used to go to the C2E2, the Wizard World back in the day there, and they've really made the Rosemont, they've really spruced it up over the past decade, and that general area, they've made it really, really nice. Like, the fashion outlets are out there, and it's a really nice area. I like going to that convention center, but the show was just kind of a big thumbs down. No.
Agreed.
Although the irony is, we'll probably go back if Robin Lord Taylor.
Well, you said you wouldn't even go, though. You dropped me off.
That is tempting, yeah. Find the cheapo ticket. I'll just wait in the lobby for you to do your thing. I mean, if some of the prices were a little bit better with the celebrities, which I think some of them were on par, but yeah, the selfies seem to be a little bit more. I mean, that'd be cool to get some to do selfie stuff, but I'm not even that big of a... Not to say I haven't gotten stuff, obviously.
I mean, the best part was just seeing the celebrities so close and seeing like who was actually... And, you know, you could tell which celebrities were really into their fans because they came up behind the booth.
Right. I don't know, I think that's going to do it for us. Right. Well, Hero Villain / Walker Stalker. We give it 2 thumbs up. You're giving me a...
Nick thinks he...
I think I am fun. Next year I'll be one of the guests that people wanted to...
Oh, you know, we did eat ice cream during the podcast, which is one of your traditions of getting ice cream at C2E2.
At a convention, the last day I eat the ice cream.
The past couple of years. Like they sell a lot of ice cream.
They sell a lot of ice cream. I felt really bad last year with your nieces. We brought your nieces to C2E2.
Just my...
Well, I guess our nieces. I know they're my nieces too. I think of them as your... Anyway, we brought the nieces to C2E2. And due to some unfortunate timing, one of the nieces was unable to meet R.L. Stein or get his autograph. And she was very upset. And I said, hey, let's go get some ice cream. Make you feel a little bit better. And we got to the ice cream place. And we're all out. I'm like, no ice cream. I think I was like, let's go get like a churro. And they're like, out of that. We eventually got a pretzel. So that was us. I do like having ice cream as a little way to cap off the... I'm going to rethink my plan from this point. I didn't have ice cream when we were at Hero Villain, although I could have. It seemed like they had plenty. We went to McDonald's quickly afterwards. I got my... I think that's going to do it for us. Yeah, that's all I got. Kiwi, any last thoughts?
No, don't go unless you're a Walking Dead.
Or you want to meet Robin Lord Taylor. RLT.
don't buy your tickets until your celebrity is announced.
Yes. Unless the tickets are so stupid good and you feel stupid not getting it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't pay anything more for tickets.
That's very fair. All right. Well, we've been talking off here, dumping on this show. So let's wrap this turkey up. I'm Nick.
I'm the Kiwi.
And this has been the All New Culture Cast. And we will see you next week with a brand new episode.
Peace.
You've been listening to the All New Culture Cast, where every episode is all new. Check out new episodes and our back catalog at allnewculturecast.libsyn.com. We can also be found on iTunes. The All New Culture Cast, a saltwater production, copyright 2019. Thanks for listening.